I don't think tithing is for Christians. Everything belongs to the Lord. I don't read anything in the New Testament saying that we give 10%. Now, that was a command to the Jews back there. Well, the Jews had a number of commands. Mm-hmm. For a Christian, everything belongs to the Lord. I belong to the Lord. Christ has bought me with his blood. I don't think it's a biblical statement. I couldn't find that in the New Testament. Can you? You know where it is in the New Testament? Bring all of your tithes and offerings. You would find it in Malachi. Bring your tithes into the storehouse, and I will pour out a blessing upon you that you will not be able to receive. God is saying that to the Jews, but never said to the church. So, although we never ask for anything and we trust God to provide, and we feel that if God doesn't provide, then he's not guiding. He doesn't want us to go there if he doesn't provide the funds. At the same time, we recognize that there are other ministries that need help, but that is not a tithe. It's not a rule. It's not the law. It's not from the Old Testament. So I think in the New Testament and as he allows you to do, and do it joyfully, and be as generous as you can.
Tithing really has nothing to do with money. It is not really a New Testament concept. It's exclusively an Old Testament concept. Absolutely. To be honest with you, the concept of tithing was not even introduced to the church until about the 5th century. They talked about it during the 4th century, but they thought that it was apparent completely to the New Testament gospel of Jesus Christ. It began to grow. It was big. It began to be big. So they needed a way, church leaders needed a way to fund all of this, especially, and we are talking about the Catholic Church. But if you go back to the Old Testament, you will find out, even in the book of Deuteronomy, where tithing is really introduced as a law, you will find out that tithing had nothing to do with money. The cattle, the fruit of the trees, grain, oil, drink offerings, so on and so forth, these were tithe items. But it wasn't money. We know for a fact that they had money back then. Abraham bought a field for his wife and for his family, and he paid 400 pieces of silver for it. Man. So he had money. If you remember, Joseph was sold into slavery for how much? 30 pieces of silver. Man. They had money. They always had money. For you to speak to your congregation and tell them that the law, the Old Testament binding law, is no longer in effect, and that we are living under grace, and so that your giving should be spirit motivated. Man, at the end of the month, there will be a whole lot of nervous pastors wondering if they're going to get paid or if the light bill is going to get paid. But my philosophy is, if this is of God, then your lack of giving cannot destroy it. If this is of God. Wow. You see, God is going to sustain his church whether you participate or not. But that the church will go under because you don't give, and because I am so afraid that you won't give, I start making up stuff to make you so afraid and so fearful. Then that means that all of your giving is with ill intent. You're trying to buy blessings. Oh, wow. Can God be manipulated like that?
If when you write your check to the church, it's a burden, he doesn't like that check. Keep it. I mean that. Don't want this church built on begrudged checks. Keep it.